It's a very good afternoon. Welcome to Galaxy Radio, Radio Flora. It's a beautiful Sunday yet once again, and we are in the show, the one that we call The Vault. And remember, on this show and this platform, we host different people from different parts of the world. And today, I'm being joined in by Tandazani Moyo from the Zimbabwe Independent Movement. Tandazani, it's a great afternoon to you. Good afternoon. Welcome to Galaxy Radio and Radio Flora.
Thank you very much, my brother Tafazo, and thank you so much for having me.
Okay. Let's first want to understand what is the Zimbabwe Independent Movement?
Thank you very much for that beautiful question. Zimbabwe Independent Movement, it's a revolutionary, progressive movement, a vanguard organization built for the people, by the people, with the people, for the purposes of actually delivering in economic transformation in our lifetime, economic independence in our lifetime, and most importantly, economic emancipation in our lifetime. So it's a broad-based movement that brings together the revolutionaries, the fearlesses, the radicals, the militants, the non-governmental organizations, the workers' movement, the community-based organizations under the need to pursue the real struggle for economic independence and economic emancipation in our lifetime. It's the only alternative movement in Zimbabwe that is yet to usher in a new democratic Zimbabwe in our lifetime, and possibly a new democratic Africa actually in our lifetime. So that is Zimbabwe Independent Movement for you, in short.
Okay. When was the Zimbabwe's independent movement launched? When was it registered?
Zimbabwe Independent Movement was registered on the 7th of September 2023, and it was launched on the 8th of April 2024. So it's less than it's been a year now in the political trenches.
Okay. And does it have a president? Does it have structures? How is the setup like, the organizational structure?
Yes, it's a well structured political formation, actually led by the able and the capable leadership of President Abigail Munyoro, deputized actually by two very able deputy presidents, Vice President Kutukwa and Vice President Garwe, and of course we've got the national chairperson, Comrade General Stolem. We do have the national Secretary General, Comrade Lower. We do have the national spokesperson and the rest of the structure, and it's actually intact into the provincial level. Yeah.
Okay. So what's like your membership like so far since you guys have launched?
No, we've been gaining the ground. We are actually impressed with the pace we're moving with, and under the able and the capable leadership of our national organizer, Comrade Msiadza Anikwa. We've been canvassing people all over the country. We've moved actually in all provinces, and we've got footprints deep in rural areas, in Chipinge, in Kwamayaya Nkai, in Mapisa, Matebeleland South, and we are found everywhere in Chendambuya, and our membership is growing on daily basis. So it's not a fixed membership rates. Actually, we're growing on daily basis. We're growing on weekly basis. But at the moment, we are moving at over 5,000 members. Actually, I can authoritatively confirm that through the database that we have as a political formation. Yes.
Okay. If you've got 5,000 followers right now, to win an election, you need close to about 2.7, 2.8 million followers. Do you think by the time we get to the elections, 2028, you'll be able to raise to those numbers, those figures? What's your projection like?
Yes. Zimbabwe Independent Movement, it's actually the next government of Zimbabwe, or the alternative. We're the government in waiting, and we're going to win the votes. We're going to win the hearts of the people of Zimbabwe. Now, let me give you a perfect strategy that we have actually established to win Zimbabwe for change. This is one of our strategies, but for the benefit of the people of Zimbabwe, and of course, for the benefit of the entire listeners, I would say to you that we have 10 commissars from 10 different provinces who are spearheading the campaign, who are spearheading the recruitment drive in terms of what exactly needs to be done. So we are not only just moving around and saying people should just join the Zimbabwe independent movement without understanding the core values of the party, without understanding what exactly we stand for. So these are the duties of the national of the provincial conveners, and I usually call them the provincial commissars. They move all over the country in different provinces and in making sure that we're building the structures from the ward level to the constituency level to the district level. And by the time we reach 2028, we become the force to be reckoned with. We become the only alternative to actually usher in the new democratic Zimbabwe in our lifetime. And we are very much ready to govern even now. If we are given a platform to govern, we're ready to govern. So what we need to do right now is to grow our support. As I conclude on that point, what's happening is that we need to qualify our members. We have quantity number of members, so we need to convert that quantity into quality members. Members who can become foot soldiers, members who can push the agenda of the party, members who can actually explain the agenda without the availability of Comrade Tandazani Moyo. They can do that. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's yes, to listen to Galaxy Radio Flora, broadcasting live productly from the heart and soul of Germany. DJ Nyam right here. The show is The Vote. This is the big chill. It happens each and every single Sunday on The Vote. And today I'm talking to Tandazani Moyo, who is the presidential spokesperson for the Zimbabwe Independent Movement. Okay, I've heard everything that you've said, but the question is, we've seen political parties being registered. There are over 123 political parties registered in Zimbabwe. We've heard the same song, the same tune, and the same message all the time. What is it going to be different and what is going to be unique about you guys? Was the same thing that you've heard. We're the next government in waiting, we're the alternative. We've heard this, but political parties never do anything. What is it that you guys are going to do that is different?
No, we are not just a political party. We are a progressive movement. We are a vanguard organization that responds to the day-to-day people struggling. So our point of departure, therefore, with every other political parties, they only manifest during the time of elections. They only manifest during the time of by-elections. Now, this is the difference with us. We are a vanguard political organization. We are an alternative. We are speaking to the people on daily basis. We relate with the problems of our people from day to day. So we are people that we are a phone call away. We are a whistle away to just say a competence and here's the problem. How do we solve it? So we are very much there. And remember, we are not just a political formation, my brother. We are a broad-based movement that brings together strategic partners from different from different walks of life, from different philosophies, people who are bringing in different ideas, because our mantra is to make sure that when others promise, we deliver. So what we're doing is we are available on the ground, right with the masses, right with the people, on daily basis, on monthly basis, on weekly basis, explaining what exactly needs to be done in terms of resuscitating the economy, in terms of rebuilding the infrastructure, in terms of changing the concrete situation in Zimbabwe, the concrete lives of our people. So we are actually very much relatable. Therefore, us being able to enter into power, it becomes easier because the people of Zimbabwe begin to understand exactly who are these people, what is it that they want to offer. They actually begin to envision Zimbabwe under our able and capable leadership. So we're creating that particular vision where the people of Zimbabwe begin to actually imagine us running a successful government. Yes.
Okay. When you speak, you're a very good speaker. And I've heard interviews with the local political parties. They all can speak, but when it comes to action, they literally do nothing. In terms of action, what is it different that you're going to give to the people of Zimbabwe? Because we've seen formation of political parties. They all sound nice and good on paper in interviews. But when it comes to the actual thing on the ground, there is no action that is done. So what is this uniqueness? What is this action-oriented thing that was Zimbabweans are sick and tired of political parties who just come and you want to say, no, we are a vanguard. No, we're doing this. We're using an ambiguous strategy. All these nice terminologies, but what is it, the uniqueness? What action are you going to bring on the ground? Because Zimbabweans right now, I think they're tired of political parties. They are more interested in seeing the action and things being done. They want somebody to say, really, we are there when you need us? What is it that you bring on the table?
Now, here's the most interesting thing about the Zimbabwean politics. But I'll talk about the most interesting thing about the Zimbabwe independent movement. Now here's the people of Zimbabwe are beginning to understand actually why is it that we are an action-oriented political party. For example, we've tapped into the issue of unemployment. We've tapped into the issue of poverty. We've tapped into the issue of even the vendors in the streets. We've actually been there, on the ground, fighting together with the vendors to say, why is it that these vendors are being chased away when the government cannot provide employment? And in terms of the young people who are abusing drugs, who actually do not have anything to do, who are waking up with the blessing of an empty stomach and the joblessness existence, we are chipping in with the little resources that we have. We're saying, okay, what is it that can be done? Why are we not opening projects, for example, and continue to build to create jobs and build buying power, and actually begin to as the people of Zimbabwe ourselves, begin to own the means of production, drive the means of production, and begin to actually deal with the issues of unemployment. And as I'm talking to you, our department in education is also speaking about the issues of skills development. As a political formation, we need to make sure that the people of Zimbabwe themselves, they understand exactly how to govern a society. The people of Zimbabwe themselves, they understand the issues of artificial intelligence and etc. So we are going to be rolling out also some programs for the youth also to be involved and participate and actually understand what is it that needs to be done for the economy to grow. So what we are doing here, we are building a movement where each and every Zimbabwean can participate. A movement where each and every Zimbabwe can take ownership. You get where I'm coming from? So people of Zimbabwe themselves, as I conclude, people of Zimbabwe themselves, my brother, they are owning the movement now. It's no longer a Tandazani movement. It's no longer a president a movement. It's no longer a national executive movement. It's a people's revolution owned by the people, driven by the people. Exactly.
We've seen elections in Zimbabwe are always disputed. Elections are always being rigged. You as a political party, you are going to participate in the same elections that have had issues of irregularities, rigging everything. How are you going to change that? And what is it that you're going to do to safeguard the issue of rigging? Because we've had the issue of rigging and elections, a lot of irregularities, How are you going to overcome that hurdle?
Thank you very much. What we have done is to do the needs analysis of what exactly is happening in Zimbabwe. And we have understood that number one, there is voter apathy. Number two, the people of Zimbabwe, they have lost confidence in the public institutions. For example, the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission. So what we have decided to do actually as a movement is to make sure that we are building a broad-based political formation that deals with these issues directly, not indirectly. For example, we need to make sure that our candidates are well informed, the voters themselves are well informed, and most importantly, our votes are guarded by our people. The people of Zimbabwe themselves are going to protect our vote. As the movement, we are going to be able to protect the vote. And the other thing, as we enter into elections, our aim is to make sure that we're also getting some seats in parliament. Our aim is to make sure that we change actually that particular status quo before even 2028. So we're dealing.
Okay,
you can go ahead.
Before you actually get into parliament, the first hurdle into is the issue of irregularities during the elections. You understand?
Yes.
Stealing of votes. How are you guys going to do it? Because all the other opposition political parties have come, and it's always the same thing year in, year out. Elections were stolen, the election irregularities, and you're participating in the same election with these same voter irregularities, you understand? And the votes are going to be stolen. How are you going to address that? Because this is another big issue in Zimbabwean politics.
No. We are protecting the vote, as I'm answering.
How would you protect the vote? We've Tandazani, we've spoken to a lot of political parties. They all said that we protect the vote, and the vote every time after an election, the election was stolen. There was election irregularities, and you guys are going to go in the same election with this same anomalies.
No, but
so what are you going to do?
Okay, Go ahead.
No, no,
But
no.
you can't
No,
judge
no.
the
This
Zimbabwe
time,
independent movement
this time,
in anticipation.
it's not about judging, but we've seen this.
Yes,
Remember, we've had elections for years, and it's always been the same thing. So we want to understand
exactly.
what is it that you're going to do to safeguard the issue of election rigging, of election elections irregularities. They're going to be there.
No, I get you, my brother. So let me tap into this. I think this will be a very perfect landing strip for both of us to actually begin to have a conversation around the rigging of elections on its own in Zimbabwe.
And
Number
irregular,
one,
no. So when
the
you when,
okay, okay,
so
okay,
go to
yeah,
I want you to address the issue of how are you going to deal with the
irregularities. Okay.
irregularities, number one, and two, the issue of rigging. So I want you to address
Okay.
those two issues.
Okay, so let's begin with the issue of irregularities. First of all, the political formations have not been serious actually with safeguarding their votes. For example, we have had many political parties contesting in Zimbabwe without election agency. For example, they don't have polling agency who are standing at polling stations, and they expect the number of votes to come out exactly as it is casted. So they're doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. What we are saying to you is the people of Zimbabwe themselves are going to protect the votes because they've got confidence in the Zimbabwe independent movement. They know that this is the only vehicle that is taking us forward. So they themselves are going to stay at the polling station. They themselves are going to be polling agents. They themselves are going to make sure that as the people of Zimbabwe, our votes is protected. Our voice is heard. Then, in terms of rigging, there is what I could love to call to you with the people of Zimbabwe. What's happening right now in terms of rigging? We've not yet reached to a level where, as Zimbabwe independent movement, we can begin to deal with the rigging because we haven't participated in any election, and it has to be dealt with from the top in terms of the laws, in terms of how ZEC itself is constituted. So that is why we have decided to enter into this political space where there has been a vacuum for over the years. So we're saying let's chip in as the revolution, let's chip in and make sure that these issues are actually addressed from within. These issues are actually addressed by the people of Zimbabwe themselves. So we are going to deal with the how ZEC it's constituted, how ZEC is operating, and how ZEC should actually begin to operate.
Oh, okay. I thought in terms of election irregularities, you're going to tell me that you're going to ensure that the recommendations that have been given by the EU, by SADC, by all these other international bodies, those things are addressed way before the elections to address the issue of some of the election irregularities. Was if you get in the election and these things are not fixed, you're going to face in the same problem. Number two, the issue of vote rigging. I thought as a Zimbabwe independent movement, you'd say you've done your investigation, you understand? You've come up with a strategy and said, okay, normally this is how elections are rigged. This is how other political parties have been failed to secure their votes. And for us, this is what we're going to do. Because you do not wait to first participate in the election and you know that everybody else has been complaining about vote rigging and just still going there and hoping to say they'll be, you're trying the same thing and you still get the same results because they have already political parties that have been there. So I thought you're going to be addressing and saying, you've already done your investigations, you've already seen where how the rigging takes place and stuff, and then you're going to address those issues. What's your comment?
No, yes, your perspective is actually a very good perspective. But what I would say is that there are things that are discussed at a strategic level, and there are things that are discussed at a leadership or at a public level. But what I would say to you is that as Zimbabwe independent movement, we're preparing for elections, and part of the preparations is actually to have a conversation with the people of Zimbabwe, with the government, with the international community in terms of what needs to be done before the elections, during the elections, and after the elections, so that we come up with undisputed elections. Actually, we want for the first time Zimbabwe to have undisputed elections, undisputed winner, where each and every Zimbabwean will say, this is the person that we vote for. This is the actually winner of the elections, and this is the person that is going to take the country forward.
If you go for an election today, and if you lose the election, would you agree to the result?
No, of course, it it depends with how we lose the elections. For example, there are wards where we are actually confident that we are going to win. There are constituencies where we are already confident that in these constituencies, with the number of the people that are beginning to say this is the alternative, we are likely to win. So it depends on how we lose them, and it depends on where we lose them. You understand? So, however, at the moment, actually, if the elections are called today, like right now, we cannot win an outright majority in Zimbabwe because we're still building the organization. But as I'm telling you, Zimbabwe Independent Movement, it's likely to be the governing party come 2028 as we are growing the movement and as we are growing our political support. Yes.
Okay, I was going to be the involvement of persons with disabilities, women, and the elderly and the youth. How are you guys involving those guys within your political party?
They're already involved. We've got an entire structure actually that is representing those people. We've got the entire structure that is making sure that their voice is heard, because there is a difference between a championing for the people who are living with disability, for example, and representing the people who are living with disability. So as Zimbabwe Independent Movement, we are both championing and making sure that these very same people are representing themselves and they are represented. And I can authoritatively tell you that in our structures, in actually all our structures, I was even laughing a few days ago, in all our provinces, in our top provincial leaders, in the structures, we've got people who are living with a disability. We've got women in our structures. We've got young people in our structures. As you can see, I'm at the national level at the age of 24. It means we've got a mix, a leadership from the national level. Even at the national level, we've got people who are living with disability. So they are well represented under the People's Revolution. Yes.
Just as a point of correction, it's people with disabilities, not people living with disabilities. So just that as a point of a point of correction. Okay, yeah, still tuned into Galaxy Radio Flora on a beautiful Sunday. It's the Vault, and we do this each and every Sunday. We talk to different people from different walks of walks of life. And this afternoon, I'm talking to Tandazani Moyo, who's the presidential spokesperson of the Zimbabwe Independent Movement, and we're trying to understand about the Zimbabwe Independent Movement. Now, my question comes to saying, what are your thoughts on you guys being united? Because it's like the example I always give people is like there are two loaves of bread. There's one loaf of bread for ZANU-PF, and there's one loaf of bread for over 121 plus political parties. You get what I'm saying? You guys are going to get all a very small piece, and yet ZANU-PF will get the whole loaf of bread. What's your take on you guys working together, a coalition, you understand, working with other political parties?
There is a need for a broad-based alliance to tackle actually ZANU-PF yet on. There is need for us to actually move beyond our political differences, our political ideologies, our political differences as opposition leaders, and actually move away from the power-hungry syndrome that many political players have, and actually begin to deal with the problems as they are, bring in all the progressive forces towards an agenda to unseat ZANU-PF and change the concrete lives of our people. So I actually agree with the progressive idea of uniting all the progressive forces, all the political formations under a one independent agenda, a one independent movement that is going to take ZANU-PF on, because by then there will be only two loaves. Actually, ZANU-PF has never had an opportunity of facing the progressive forces as a one block. That they've never had that opportunity. And I think that will be a very good attempt to face ZANU-PF from one corner and literally be able to deal with them. Yes.
So have you engaged other opposition political parties to come together, to build a coalition, to be united? Have you been in talks with any other political parties?
And actually, part of my deployment, it's a progressive politics, progressive regrouping. As I'm talking to you, I sit in the committee where we are actually engaging different political formations. We have engaged almost 25 political parties right now, and we are moving forward in terms of what exactly needs to be done, and in terms of how do we form this broad-based alliance and usher in a new democratic Zimbabwe in our lifetime. And I can authoritatively confirm to you that there is a positive response in terms of building a one alliance that will look at ZANU-PF yet on and defeat them during these upcoming elections.
Okay. What is your interaction with the Zimbabweans in the diaspora community? How is that going on?
That has been a very good interactions, but I think we still need to grow more in terms of mobilizing and canvassing Zimbabweans who are in the diaspora, because we actually need to even begin to champion some of the issues that are affecting our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. But what I can confirm with you is that we've got structures already in the diaspora which are actually working on that, which is I think it's a very good step towards the right direction, considering that we've got now footprints in different countries, be it in the UK, in the USA, in South Africa, Botswana, and etc. We've got people who are able now to articulate the ideology of the party. We're able to say, what is it that we can contribute as the diaspora in terms of growing this revolution? How is it that we can participate as the Zimbabweans in diaspora to grow this particular revolution? So there is that particular move in terms of growing the party as support in the diaspora and championing the issues that are affecting our brothers in the diaspora, including the diaspora vote and etc. Yes.
Zimbabwe Independent Movement as a political party, if today you come into power, what are the three things that you guys will work on in Zimbabwe?
Three things.
Mm-hmm. What would be the three top priorities to say, we want to work in this area, this area, and this area?
Thank you very much. We're going to start with the issue of unemployment in Zimbabwe. And number two, we're going to go straight to the issue of the infrastructure itself. And number three, we're going to go straight to the issue of health. So there are many issues actually to deal with in Zimbabwe. You're actually suppressing me by giving me only three things.
No, yeah. I'm just saying your top three. Obviously, there's a lot of things that need to be done, but obviously, what would be your top three? Because in 5 years, you can't do 20 things. You can only do as much from time to time. So my just also end up this interview. What are the colors of the Zimbabwe Independent Movement?
For Zimbabwe Independent Movement, it's red.
Okay, but wouldn't you be in conflict with MDC?
No, we are not in conflict with the MDC. With MDC, it's MDC. What now? But it's MDC. Let's end it there. Yeah. We're literally not in conflict with MDC because there is a distinct. Actually, our t-shirts are red, but we've got whites in them, and they are branded with our logo. So there is a difference. There won't be any clash. The people of Zimbabwe will be able to recognize this is a Zimbabwe Independent Movement, and this is the movement for democratic change. Yeah.
So just to end off, so to those who want to know more about the Zimbabwe Independent Movement, where do they find you? Social media, email addresses, website. Where can people find you guys?
Yes, our website has been having some few problems, but it's going to be up and running in a few days. And I think hopefully the next time I come here, if I get another chance as well, my brother, I will be able to actually give Zimbabweans a reference to our website. However, our Twitter handle is there at Zimbabwe Independent Movement. Our TikTok handles are there. Our Facebook and on all these social medias, we're actually available at Zimbabwe Independent Movement. And we've got our WhatsApp channel. We are also there where we are posting a lot of updates, a lot of
what's your WhatsApp number, so that in case somebody wants to join, wants to know, your WhatsApp channel, what is it?
Our WhatsApp channel or our WhatsApp number?
WhatsApp number.
Our WhatsApp number. Let's see. Let's keep let's literally give the people of Zimbabwe my number for today. Then I'll go. I don't know it with my head, so let's give the people of Zimbabwe my number. They can be able to get in touch, and they will definitely get in touch to our headquarters WhatsApp number as soon as possible.
Go ahead if you're comfortable to do that.
Okay, my personal WhatsApp number is +27 63 94 66 223 at the end.
Please say that again, nice and slowly.
Okay, +27 63 946622 at the end.
Okay, this has been great. This has been amazing. This has been fantastic. And this is the Big Chill. And this segment is called The Vote, where we talk to different people from different parts of life, look at different issues, right? And this afternoon, I was joined in by Thandazani Moyo from the Zimbabwe Independent Movement. He's the presidential spokesperson. And we wanted to understand about the Zimbabwe Independent Movement, who they are, what they stand for, and what is different about them. And yeah, let's see if they can be the alternative, or they'll be alternated, or they'll be alternated, come 2028. We'll see about that. Anyway, Thandazani, thank you so much for coming through to Galaxy Radio Flora, and we hope to have you on many other platforms in the future.
Thank you very much, my brother, and revolutionary salutations to the people of Zimbabwe. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful afternoon, and let us bring you more great music on your great station,